Hello there, everyone. Welcome to Brew Jackets. It's a fun Blue Jackets themed podcast. My name is Kevin. Joining me tonight is my co-host Hefty Duck, and I invited other people to come on the show. So whether they actually come on or not, that's a different story. So other people may or may not be coming on, but if not, oh well, they can always come on next time, and it'll just be me and Hefty Duck. Anyways, we got some stuff going on in the Blue Jackets world to talk about. Adam Fantilli had a preseason hat trick
Hell yeah.
against the Washington Capitals, and it was really cool. He's been playing pretty good so far in training camp and preseason. We're going to talk about that. The Blue Jackets get some salary cap news. What do they have to do with that salary cap space that they now have because of Johnny Gaudreau unfortunately dying? They don't have to do it right away, but they do have a certain time frame that they do have to get it done and get above the salary cap floor. What does that mean for the Blue Jackets? We're going to talk about that. I'm going to show some of the clips from Adam Fantilli's hat trick. I'm going to give a tribute to Ohio sports legend Pete Rose, who unfortunately died recently. I'm going to show off a fun hockey video. We got some William Whitelaw stuff to show. Blue Jackets prospect William Whitelaw, who plays at Michigan, and so much more. So welcome to the show, everyone.
Welcome in. Thank you all for being here tonight. Big shout out to our audio listeners. You guys have been pumping the numbers for this, second of September, I guess, and it's been awesome because, we just recently we joined Inside the Rink, and it's always good to show the people that you're new to that people like you. And big shout out to the audio listeners. You guys are awesome. If you too would like to listen to us on audio, maybe like while you're driving to work or doing something, then check out, you can find us on any platform. We're on Spotify, Apple, Google, whatever. Check out our link tree in any of our bios, wherever we're at on Facebook, Twitter. I'll have to fix that for YouTube. Can you get that off my face? Thanks.
Oops, sorry.
I'm just playing. It's been a busy week now that hockey is back in session. Well, preseason anyway. We're literally 5 days away from NHL hockey, and so we'll talk about the preseason games a little bit. Then we'll talk about what needs done in those 5 days yet before opening night. Well, are they the 9th or are they the 7th? In any case, it needs to be done by the 7th.
The Blue Jackets, their first game is October 10th in Minnesota.
Yeah. But so the rosters all need finalized by Monday and everything for the NHL and whatnot. So we had talked about one preseason game last week. It's a 1-6 loss to the Sabres. It was a very NHL heavy lineup for the Sabres, as many of them were not going to see the other preseason games because they were in Germany playing with a game or something like that. So there was a couple other games since then. That night after the podcast, the Blue Jackets beat the Blues 3-0. Then they had a couple other games yet. They beat the Caps 8-4. They rematched the Sabres, but this time part of the Sabres lineup was, like I said, overseas in Germany. They beat them 6-3 this time. And then they lost to the Capitals 2-3, and then beat the Blues one more time 3-1. So they are 4-2 in their preseason games, which is pretty good. Right now, a little bit of surprise for me was Matthew Olivier. He is tied with Adam Fantilli for the most goals on the team with 4 in the preseason. And many people know Matthew Olivier's role as kind of an old school enforcer type, probably one of the toughest guys in the NHL to fight, if not the toughest. I actually have a video of a fight that he was in recently that I feel bad for the other guy. And so, yeah, they've been doing great. I've been happy to see it. What are your thoughts on these preseason games, Kev?
Okay, so obviously it's preseason, duh. So you do have to take a grain of salt with it there. You just do. It just is what it is. But having said all of that, it's still impressive to see that uh, the Blue Jackets are finding ways to win games. And, you know, credit to Matthew Olivier, stereotypical uh, guy that you think that's not your stereotypical goal scorer, but he's doing it. He's more of a third or fourth line guy, fighter, enforcer, but gives you good defense, some good penalty killing, kind of grinder, grind it out, hard worker kind of a guy. That's normally what he is. Sometimes give you some goals. So, you know what? You're playing better than expected so far. So, credit to you for doing that. Another thing that stands out to me is, some of these top prospects that the Blue Jackets have. It's not just that they're playing good, it's just like they're standing out. You can see them. Like Gavin Brindley's name keeps popping up.
Oh yeah,
Denton Mateychuk's name keeps popping up. Adam Fantilli's name keeps popping up. He had the hat trick in the preseason game against the Capitals, in which the Blue
so sick.
Jackets won that game
That
8-4.
line he was on was the best line of the night by far. He was
It
playing,
was.
I believe, with Voronkov and Chinikov.
He was, and then he had
So sick.
one of the goals that Fantilli scored, and I'll show it in the clip later, is that he was actually playing with Gavin Brindley, and it's
Yeah.
one game, it's preseason, it's one game, and it's a small sample size. But having said all of that, it still looked pretty damn good, and it looked like that he and Gavin Brindley just rekindled some of that Michigan magic that they had when they were playing at Michigan. And one of the goals that Adam Fantilli scored, Gavin Brindley helped set that up. He passed to Adam Fantilli, and Fantilli goes on like a little mini breakaway and scores on it.
Looks like they played together before, for sure. Like
Right, it did. It was like, that is a thing that you do kind of wonder about. Like, you have some of these guys that they play together awesome, and then they stop, and then they go their respective ways, and then you wonder, like, oh, do they still have that? Like, let's just say like 5 years from now, they're playing again, and you wonder, ooh, I don't know, but they've had that, but do they still have that? And sometimes the answer is nope, they don't have that, and sometimes the answer is yes. And that's something I kind of wondered about, Johnny Gaudreau with Sean Monahan, is that obviously we won't see that because he unfortunately died. But in the event that we did get to see that, that's something that I did wonder about. Is it's been a bit now since both of them have played with each other now, and you wonder if they still had that chemistry and if that still would have happened. Maybe, maybe not, and we'll never know. But it's still cool to see that with Gavin Brindley and Adam Fantilli. Luca Del Belluz, he's looked pretty good. His name has popped up, a little bit. Jet Greaves, good. Elvis
yeah,
Merzlikins looks good. Danil Tarasov looks good. So you have all these, potential uh, question marks of what's going to happen there, and how does that affect the Blue Jackets? Guys that may or may not be ready for the Blue Jackets. And when you see that stuff, it kind of pushes you in the direction towards, well, these guys look pretty good, and it looks like that they're almost there. Or in some cases, some guys, yep, they're right there. So
yeah.
it's interesting to see, and I'm liking it. You just got to keep going because there's only 2 preseason games left, and for some of these guys like a Den Mateychuk or a Gavin Brindley, this is basically your final shot to show us what you got. If not, you go to the Monsters, which honestly is really not that bad of a thing, because then you'll get more minutes, and when your time is ready, you'll come join the Blue Jackets, just like what they've done with Chinikov, and they've done it with Marchenko and Voronkov and a whole bunch of other guys. They did it with Oliver Bjorkstrand. He made the team out of training camp that year, and he just was not ready, just was not good. They sent him back to the Monsters, and then later on in the season, they called him up and he was fine. And he never went back down to Cleveland.
I think we're
So
going to
it's
see that quite
interesting
a
to
bit.
see how this goes and just keep going.
Yeah. Because, like, there's so many players who, I mean, I'll just go over who was sent down today. So Trey Fix-Wolansky. Now I'm kind of biting my nails over this one. Trey Fix-Wolansky was put on waivers with the intent to assign him to Cleveland Monsters. So if he clears waivers, he'll be back to the Monsters. Now, I had him on my list. I don't know if any of you guys read my article earlier this week or not, but I had him on my list of he was going to be I had him down as a healthy scratch for the first game of the year, but I thought he was going to make the team. And even still, the Monsters do need their top two lines. And me and Kevin were talking about this before the show. That Trey Fix-Wolansky, he needs those minutes. He's not a defenseman. He's not going to get 20 minutes a game just because there's less players. He needs those minutes. And if he can be on the first line, I think that would be better for him and his development. He's still a young guy.
Yep.
I'd love to see him break out into the NHL this year, and he will get his shot. I know he'll get his chance at some point this year. Injuries happen, people getting sent back down, whatever. So,
No.
Luca Del Belbalez,
Yep.
James Malatesta, Cole Clayton, Stanislav Svozil, Zachary Sawchenko, they were all sent either loaned or returned to the Monsters. So was Jake Gaudette, and I don't know if I missed anyone else there. So there are 32 players left on the roster, and 5 of those are injured. So that really only is like 27. And by Monday, October 7th, they need 23 players on the roster. So then they're going to have to shave off 4 more players, and whoever's injured when they come back, they'll have to figure that out too. I'm sure that from what I understand, the injuries that did happen will be they should be fine by opening night, but which is next Thursday, October 10th. But that they don't want to continue getting more hurt. Like, in fact, we're going to talk about Patrick Laine here in a little bit yet too. So for forwards, we have Gavin Brindley, Adam Fantilli, Dylan Gambrell, Boone Jenner, Kent Johnson, Sean Corrali, Hunter McCone. Did he get sent back down already? Yeah. Sean Monahan, of course, Cole Sillinger, and I believe Owen Sillinger's still there. James Malatesta, Michael Petilla, I believe he's still there too. James Van Riemsdyk, I mean, he's not going anywhere. Dmitry Voronkov, Igor Chinikov. Justin Danforth is injured right now. And then we have Jordan Dumais. He's still up. Trey Fix-Wolansky was sent down. Kirill Marchenko and Matthew Olivier. On defense, still up is old Julian Georgievic-Holm, one of the most difficult names next to Luca Del Belbalez. Jake Christensen, Eric Goodbranson, who is injured, Jordan Harris, David Juracek, Jack Johnson, Denton Matejchuk, Ivan Provorov, Damon Severson, and Zach Rowensky. So as far as the injuries go, Eric Goodbranson, he's not expected to play at Thursday's game. It's a lower body injury. I saw him go off the ice the other night. I don't know if he ever came back, but he's a big, tough guy. I don't think it's anything too serious. Justin Danforth, he's not probably going to play in much of the preseason at all. He's 100% healthy, and from what I understand, he's ready to go, but he just they don't want to risk anything with him. Jordan Dumais, he's got a lower body injury. He's not expected to play on Thursday's game either. And Caden Lindstrom, who we're probably not going to see at all in the preseason, he's still on the roster technically, even though he's going to be playing for the Medicine Hat Tigers this year. So he's still on that roster to be trimmed yet too. So as far as opening night, we talked about this last week, and in fact, I have some similar lines to Owen York Swag, man who's on our show.
That's right.
And nothing much changed, although I have the second and third line a little mixed around here. And let me see if I can share this tab real quick. It's going to be opening night. This one. All right. This is my article from the other day. And so, forward, I have Boone Jenner, Sean Monahan, Kirill Marchenko. That's my first line.
Good.
And I think that's pretty solid. I mean, is Kirill Marchenko going to get beat out for that? I don't think so. Is Boone Jenner? I mean, Yegor Chinakov's given a good case right there. I don't know. So my second line, though, is Dmitry Voronkov, and I have Cole Sillinger and Yegor Chinakhov. The reason I put Sillinger there was he just has a little bit more NHL experience than Adam Fantilli. And he also deserves those second line minutes. As much like Adam Fantilli, I think to start the year, I think having him do third line minutes and working back into the rotation and lineup, I mean, he just didn't get a lot of time last year to show what he has. Now he's an amazing player. He could have a shot at first or second line. But for now, I have Cole Sillinger. Now the third line, I have James Van Riemsdyk with Adam Fantilli and Kent Johnson because I thought adding JVR to a line with Fantilli would help give him someone with a lot more experience and pay, someone who's reliable, and then Kent Johnson hopefully give those two a chance to work together. I think that those Fantilli and Johnson together could be huge. But then fourth line, I have Matthew Olivier, Sean Corrali, and Justin Danforth. It is kind of a question mark right now. And if he's a question mark, then who's the healthy scratch forward? If it's not Trey Fix-Sklansky, who's going to be in Cleveland. We'll talk about that in just a second. For defense, then I had Zach Werenski, Damon Severson, first pairing. Second, I have Ivan Provorov and David Yurchek. Once again, David Yurchek coming up, a little bit newer, getting put up with an experienced guy like Provorov. And then third pairing, I have Jordan Harris and Eric Branson. And I think part of that was also the sides that they shoot on, and that one of them normally plays left or right defense. The healthy scratches I have are Jack Johnson and Jake Christensen. Either of those guys could see themselves starting opening night too. We'll see how that goes. Then for goalies, I have the starter as Elvis Merzlikins, and I have the backup as Daniil Tarasov. Last week we talked about with Owen a little bit about there possibly being a 3 goalie rotation. I think that's going to be difficult, but also last year there was a few games where Elvis Merzlikins was slated to start, and then he there was an illness, something. It's hard to it was never explained exactly what it was. It could have been anything. So personally, I suffer with severe IBS. There are some days where if I eat something wrong, it can shut me down for the whole rest of the day. Even if I'm feeling a little bit better, I wouldn't want to give my 110% at a hockey game that night and let and not be able to do that and let my team down. So I totally understand if there's something, we don't see something like that. I get it, but then having a third goalkeeper could possibly prove very valuable for the Blue Jackets then, especially when they're as good as Jet Greaves and Daniil Tarasov. So that's kind of my explanation. Now, since it's not Trey Fix-Sklansky, I mean, who do we have looking at possibly sticking around? I mean, I still got Gavin Brindley around. Jordan May's injured. Dylan Gambrell could see some time. He could be that guy that steps up. Then there's Owen Sillinger as well. I mean, he's sticking around camp. He's really trying his heart out right now. And Mikhail Putia. I think it's actually Putia. I think that's close to the guy. So, in my personal opinion, right here, so here's what my heart wants. My heart wants it to be Gavin Brindley. Right. My brain tells me that it's most likely going to be Dylan Gambrell.
Yes.
Simply, he's got a little bit more experience. He's a bigger dude. He's 190. He has a right-handed shot, and I think he would fit fine on that third line. Or if they have to help scratch someone, he might be the guy. So, and for defense, I already said. I think I think we're gonna see. I don't know. I haven't paid attention. Have you noticed old Julian Bjorkvik-Holm playing at all yet? I haven't really noticed much from him. I haven't heard his name been called out a lot.
No, so what I've seen of him is that he's basically I would say basically for most of his existence within the Blue Jackets organization, he's been a guy that's either played with the Cyclones down in Cincinnati, or he's been a guy that's been playing for the Monsters.
Yeah.
Uh, um, he is a bigger dude, so like there is stuff to like about him. I admit I don't know that much about him, but that's what I know is that he's been that guy that for the most part has been stuck down in the minors, and that's not really his fault because, well, if you consider what the Blue Jackets have for defenseman prospects, it's kind of hard to, find yourself a spot and get ahead of people when you have a David Yurchek, a Denton Mateychuk, a Corson Kuhlmans, a Stanislav Sposal, you know, so and you can go down the list. You have other defense and prospects too, and it's just like when it can be hard. It can be hard to go up the ranks when you got all these people in front of you. He might be one of those late bloomers where it might take him some time to get there. When he does get there, you'll see, and maybe he does take one of those spots once. I don't know, maybe a David Yurachek or a Corson Kuhlmans or a Stanislav Sposal or a Denton Mateychuk is with the Blue Jackets, and then he can develop more, and then eventually maybe he gets one of those spots. If not, maybe the Blue Jackets can use him to get something in, a trade, because that's how the Blue Jackets got Matt Duchene back in 2019 is they used their 2019 first round draft pick and they used some of their prospects to get him, because at that point in time, it looked like that those guys that they traded for Tally Avermoff and Jonathan Davidson were probably not going to get spots with the Blue Jackets and may have been stuck down there with the Monsters. So at some point you figured, well, let's trade them somewhere else and maybe they can get a shot somewhere else.
Yeah.
I do agree with you there that Dylan Gambrell, that seems like the guy that's probably going to make it, because I've seen this pop up on Twitter that people think that he's kind of like a Justin Danforth kind of a guy, a guy that can play up and versatile up and down the lineup, kind of more that bigger dude, kind of grinds it out, kind of like Justin Danforth can give you some offense every.
Oh, did I freeze or did you freeze? No, you're good. You're moving now. I just missed the last few words of what you said.
Oh, well, just saying that, Dylan Gambrell, from what I've seen on Twitter, it's basically he's seen as a get like could be the guy for Justin Danforth's spot right now. A guy that can play up and down the lineup like Justin Danforth, kind of the more bigger dude, kind of more that, grinder thing that Justin Danforth is, and sometimes can give you some offense and does have NHL experience. Um, I do agree with you there that, the whole heart thing, oh, you want it to be Gavin Brindley. I do too. From what I've seen with him, not just at Michigan, but, that one game he played with the Blue Jackets this past season, he looked good. And what you see of him so far in training camp and preseason looks good. And, we've said this on the show multiple times, but, historically speaking, the Blue Jackets have benefited from having Michigan guys
Yeah.
on their team: Zach Werenski, Jack Johnson, Kent Johnson, Adam Fantilli, Nick Blankenberg, now Gavin Brindley eventually. So you'd like to add to that and keep that tradition going. But if he doesn't make it, oh well, go cook down in Cleveland, and whenever you're ready, you're ready. So it's probably going to be Dylan Gambrell,
Yeah,
most likely.
that's what I'm looking at too.
And
So, I miscounted earlier when I was talking about everything. I'm not going to include the injuries like Goodbranson or anything like that, but there's 30. So the Columbus Blue Jackets website hasn't updated with Trey Fix-Wolansky yet. They updated everyone else, but since he's still technically on waivers, he hasn't moved. So there's 30 players on the roster right now, and they need 23 by Monday. So by my calculations, that's 7 players. So what we're looking at now, here's the players that I got that I'm thinking probably going to see some Cleveland Monsters time this year. That's going to be Gavin Brindley, unfortunately. Owen Sillinger, I think he's done a great camp. I think we'll see him at the NHL level a few times this year, but I'm not sure if we're at the gate he's going to get there. Maybe he'll help the Monsters get off to a good start and see how that goes. Mikhail Putia, I've heard his name a lot this preseason games. I think once again, I think he has some good chances. And in fact, he came in, wasn't he Patrick Laine's friend? Didn't they know each other? Or he was staying with Laine or something. Like when he first came over, I thought there was something between them. And in any case, that might be a good trade piece. Someone like Putia, Jackets could still use someone for the top line, and if you maybe put him together with another player or two, maybe that would convince somebody. Old Julian Borjovic home, and as it is right now, so Jordan DeMay is going to go. I'm assuming too. He's not been able to play much at all anyway. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Denton Matejchuk, I really want to see him up here. The room that there is, David Jiricek is taking that room, in my opinion. And that's just part of it. He's NHL ready. I think Matejchuk is, but the room is just not there right now. And then, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my 7th player that would be sent down is unfortunately Jet Greaves.
Yep.
I don't think that they would carry 3 goaltenders at the beginning of the season unless it was if it starts being necessary, I'm sure they'll do it if they had to, but it's not necessary to start that way, not with Daniil in there. So that's my 7.
Jet Greaves is the type of guy he needs to be down. If he needs to be playing. If it's not with the Blue Jackets, then he needs to be with the Monsters, getting those top line minutes, the starter role that he would get down with the Monsters, and just keep developing that way. It's just like with the whole Trey Fitz-Wolansky thing, is that he has first line, second line talent, but on the Blue Jackets, he's like a third or fourth line guy because, who are you going to take off that spot? And the answer is you're not. And Trey Fitz-Wolansky is still kind of a younger dude that he's still kind of a younger dude that, he's still kind of young and still could develop into something even more. So you don't want to screw with that. So go back down to the minors and continue to play those first line, second line minutes that you should be getting. Then eventually your time will come, whether that be with the Blue Jackets, someone else, that's a different story. But I do think it's going to happen. Owen Sillinger, that's another guy that maybe could take that spot besides Dylan Gambrell, because his name keeps popping up. And when Danforth has basically been out this entire training camp and preseason, Owen Sillinger is one of 2 guys that have been getting a lot of that fourth line minutes that Justin Danforth would normally be getting. And from what
be a good replacement for him.
And from what I've been, reading, on Twitter and different articles, Owen Sillinger's name keeps popping up, and he's been playing good so far in the training camp and, the preseason. So maybe that's a guy that takes it besides Dylan Gambrell. But if not, go back and play with the Monsters and you'll be okay. And your time will come too, again, whether that be with the Blue Jackets or not, you'll get it. That's just, that's just how it goes there. I see, Hefty Duck there's got some stuff to share, and I'll share my clips as well after that, and then we'll just get going from there.
We'll talk a little bit about the salary cap situation, and then we will I got some other stuff. We'll talk about the last game we played a little bit. So yeah, so this is if you don't like hockey fights, I'm sorry that you're boring, but this is a hockey fight from last night. where Matthew Olivier, like, this is not the best quality video because I'm sharing it from someone's Twitter. I don't have the actual recording of it. So I'll explain to you a little bit what happens, and I'll explain to our audio viewers too. It's a 40-second clip. So here we have the Blue Jackets are on the offensive zone. So if you saw Olivier there, he took a little down here at the end. He takes a little extra slap at
Tucker with the stinky mitts. There they go.
And boom, they take the gloves off and bam.
Yeah.
Tucker gets a punch. Olivier gets another. And both drop down to the ice.
Down a little bit.
Just like we called it.
If you look here, so of course it's gonna lag on me now. Like we just watched it. Isn't it already loaded? All right, so let's count here real quick. So Tucker, they get the gloves off. Tucker goes, grabs, bam, punches him once. Olivier backs off.
He's
boom,
done.
and
He's
Olivier
done.
hits him one time, and he goes down.
He's done.
Like, I don't want to say that. I don't know. Did he stay in the game? I don't remember if Tucker stayed in the game or not, because if you look at where they'll probably do the slow-mo replay here then too. If you look at where Matthew Olivier hits him, he hits him like Tucker's helmet is on, but he hits him in like the side of the ear. And immediately, you know, when you get boom, shakes gloves, grabs collar, cocks back, real far, bam, haymaker to the ear. And I don't think Tucker quite, like, I know you have to defend your goalie. You have to. But if he would have like taken a step back and realized, oh, that's Matthew Olivier, I'm not sure he would have been quite as eager to drop those gloves. And personally, I mean, I think Olivier came on top in this one. He's the one who's hit and knocked the other guy down. And you know me, I'm a big hockey fight lover. You'll probably see me do a couple breakdowns of fights here this rest of the season as well. I mean, that's a good hit from Tucker. He spins his helmet around. That's hilarious. You need to watch that. He literally hits him so good with the first punch. So Olivier's helmet is cocked to the side. He spins it around like a 360 on top of Olivier's head, and then the helmet falls off. It's so funny. That's just gnarly. Anyway, I just wanted to share that from the game. That was last night's win 3-1 against the Blues.
Yeah,
and,
he
did pretty good.
Learned the wrong lesson. Don't go after Matthew Olivier.
Not
the greatest idea. Not the greatest idea. Don't do it. Matt Rempe learned that lesson the hard way. Yikes.
Yeah, right.
So just,
couple of
maybe consider not fighting Matthew Olivier. I'm just throwing that out there. Maybe not consider doing it. I know sometimes you may have to do it, but maybe not consider doing that. Just throwing that out there,
Well, and also, like, that guy that just fought like that, Matthew Olivier, also is tied for first place in preseason on the Blue Jackets with 4 goals apiece with him and Adam Fantilli. So, like, I'm just saying, he's got the silky smooth mitts when he needs them, and the rock hard fist when he needs them too.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Anyway, you said you had some clips.
Yeah, we're gonna show off the goals that Adam Fantilli had from his preseason hat trick, and it was cool. It just, and honestly, like, I've heard of hat tricks before, but like, in my almost 20 years of following hockey, I have never heard of a preseason hat trick. So like,
yeah.
So like when that happened, like, oh, that's cool. A hat trick in the preseason. Oh, that's cool. Because, generally speaking, at least from my perspective, you really don't see stuff like that, happen. So I'm going to share some clips of the goals from, Adam Fantilli. So let's see here. Is this? No, that ain't it. So here's the first one right here. All right. Okay. Now, we're going to put it on the screen. And there it is right there. Okay, so Adam Fantilli's first goal of his hat trick in the preseason. Here it is. Boom.
All right, that's silky smooth. We'll have to say something for the audio listeners here too, real quick. So, this was was this the 8-4 win against the Caps?
It was.
Cool. So Caps are up 1-0. It's 9 minutes left in the first, and the Blue Jackets get the puck from like out behind their own net, and they get a 3-on-3, almost 4-on-4 rush up the ice. But Voronkov, there's a sweet little deke right after the blue line, and passes it off to the left to Adam Fantilli, who smacks it in right around the dot, and that was just so smooth. So if you look here as well, when Voronkov is going to cross over, is this the one he was with Chinikov? Is that also Chinikov there? Go crossing left to right there, number 8.
No, I don't think that's it. But what?
So he uses him as a screen. Like if Voronkov uses his own player there as a screen to get that pass over to Fantilli, and Fantilli is at the top of the circle there by the left dot, smacks it home.
That's the thing I like about this is that Dmitry Voronkov, he is drawing these defenders to him, making it look like, oh, I don't know, maybe I'll shoot it. And then you'll see, I'll back it up so you can kind of see it. At the last moment, you see him just kind of quickly kick it out to Fantilli, and then he scores.
That's so smooth. So freaking smooth.
So let's see. Does it? All right, up there. Does it? All right. So it is. Boom! Right there. Kick it out. Fantilli shoots, scores. All right, one more time, and then we'll move on to the next goal. There it is. Just so, and bam, right there.
Sick.
All right, and There it is.
All right, what's the next clip you got?
Next goal is, where is it? This one right here is, you're going to see Gavin Brindley is going to have the puck right here. He's going to pass it to Adam Fantilli, who kind of goes in on like a little mini, kind of like a little breakaway. Not a clean one because he's going to have a guy right on him, but he's going to get it and then he's going to shoot.
Do you have that up right now, or are you about to click it? Because right now I see.
Okay.
There you go. Yep.
Okay.
Perfect.
There you go. That's the meme of the day. Kevin forgets to put it up on the screen. Put it on your bingo cards, everyone. Did you get it? Did you get it? And anyways, so Gavin Brindley, he has the puck, and he's going to pass it to Adam Fantilli. Fantilli's going to scoot through over here and go on like a breakaway. He's going to have like a dude on him, and he's going to shoot and score on the backhand. So here it is. So let's turn it down just a bit, though.
Pretty slick. So score is 2-3. Blue Jackets, they're in the middle. They just started the second period, 14.5 minutes left to go, and Fantilli is just so fast. He gets a pass right just past the center line, about center dot, and he seamlessly picks it up while skating like full bore. And the guy who's next to him, of Vetsky or whatever his name is, he just can't get to him. He's just too slow. Brindley's on, and it's so cool. You can see how Brindley's carrying the puck over to his right side. I believe he's a left shot, right? And he's just carrying it so far away from him. The guy's slapping him with a stick and whatnot, and just fires it home. Can you play real quick?
Yeah. So the thing I like about this is that not only does Fantilli score the goal, but it's also impressive that he's basically got a guy right on him, so that makes it hard. So like he can't shoot it right away because he's got this guy on him, and yet he still finds a way, to get the puck off and score. So it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I'll back it up so you can see it.
Yeah. Oh, that's Alexander Alexiev. Dude, that guy's big too. Oh yeah, I forgot. So the Caps had Sonny Milano and Pierre-Luc Dubois, on their team. That's kind of funny. Alexander Alexiev. So he's number 27.
As you can see, there's Gavin Brindley. He's got the puck, and he's going to pass it to Adam Fantilli, and off he goes.
Yeah, that guy that was on Fantilli, 6'4", 213 pounds.
Look at that.
He was drafted in the first round, 31st pick. So, I mean, Alexander Alexiev's no slouch by any means, and Fantilli just blows right past him. That's sick. What's the next one you got?
I'm going to show this one more time, then we're going to go. There it is. Boom. There it is. All right.
So sick.
Next one is the goal that he scored to complete the hat trick.
Yeah. This is later on in the game. So it's the score is 4-5 right now. Caps are down against the Blue Jackets. 4 minutes left in the third. And the Jackets are going to pick this one up from back behind their own net. And this is the so sick. It happens so fast you can barely even see what happens here. I need my player list up here. I'm not used to some of these preseason numbers. I'm still not quite used to seeing Fantilli with 19 either.
No.
I'm sure I'll get used to it, but it's just kind of
something to see here. So I think that Gavin Brindley, he's going to try and pass the puck over here, but then like the puck is going to bounce like off the boards and then go over here to Fantilli, and Fantilli's going to shoot and score. Oh, it gets actually no. I tell you back, it got
batted by 76.
Deflected. Look at that, bonk.
Yeah,
deflected.
So still counts as a pass from Gavin Brindley. But
I can't fault that dude because he's trying to do the something the right play defensively, trying to get it out of there, but sometimes it doesn't work out like that way, and it just backfires.
Yeah.
So there it is. Fantilli to Gavin Brindley, and he tries to bat it, and it just goes to Fantilli, and Fantilli scores.
That's Nick Lieberman, who batted that one into the center a little bit for the Capitals.
Boom.
And
so
if my phone would load, I'd get you the stats.
That.
It doesn't matter. Okay.
Okay.
Hell yeah. That was sick, dude. I love seeing Fantilli come out so strong like that after the way last year happened. But we're kind of getting down to our last 15 minutes here. So I really want you to explain to me a little bit about the salary cap situation.
Yes. And then after that, I have some other stuff to share. But first, salary cap.
Yep.
So every year there is a rule that by a certain date that you have to be at a certain number in terms of the salary cap. You cannot be over it. You cannot be under it. You got to find that sweet spot in the middle. And this upcoming Monday, October 7th, 2024, is the day that all teams must be salary cap compliant, where they cannot be too high or too low. Now, under normal circumstances, that would not be an issue for the Blue Jackets at all, because they were over the, they met the requirement. They were not too high, they were not too low. However, though, due to the unfortunate reality of Johnny Gaudreau unfortunately dying, that kind of screwed the Blue Jackets there and put them in a tough spot to where now that Johnny Gaudreau is unfortunately dead, you're not paying his contract. And now because of that, that $9.7 million contract that you were paying him is gone. It's now off the books.
And that's like 3 other contracts in one. You're looking at the Blue Jackets. Not many other people other than Patrick Laine made that kind of money.
Right. So that kind of money is now gone.
And Laine is also gone. So it's like,
and Laine is also gone. Something to consider there is that before Johnny Gaudreau unfortunately died, the Blue Jackets were sitting at about, let's say, about $8 million or so, and then Patrick Laine gets traded, and that bumps it up to like $16 million. Well, then, okay, you're still good there. But then Johnny Gaudreau unfortunately dies, and now you're in a spot to where you're under the salary cap because, well, he's unfortunately dead, and you can't pay a contract to a dead person. It's done. Off the books. You're not paying that contract anymore.
There is something of his. What were you telling me about? There was something of his contract that did count towards our cap a little bit.
So, and I'll get to that. So, because of Johnny Gaudreau unfortunately dying, it's now put the Blue Jackets in a tough spot to where they're now under the salary cap, and now they're kind of scrambling here that they need to do it, and it's kind of slim pickings because a majority of the guys that you could have signed are basically gone. There's still some time to go here before the season starts. You still could get a guy, but it's harder because most of the people are gone. So the Blue Jackets asked the NHL for an exception to, give us some time, basically. And, the NHL thought it over and they agreed to give the Blue Jackets a little extra time to figure this out. They will not be one of those teams that have to be salary cap compliant on October 7th. They don't have to worry about being too high or too low. They don't have to worry about that for now. They said within reasonable time. So like they weren't very specific about that when that reasonable time is, but eventually the Blue Jackets are going to have to get that figured out. They can't have this forever. They're going to have to fix it. But because of this exemption, they got a little extra they got a little extra time here where they can figure this out. Now, originally, it was about just a little over $2 million that the Blue Jackets would have had to figure out, okay, how do we get this figured out? However, though, this is where Johnny Gaudreau's contract, in this instance, benefits the Blue Jackets because it was part of Johnny Gaudreau's contract that he got a $2 million signing bonus. And that $2 million signing bonus happened this past July. They've already paid it out to Johnny Gaudreau. And because the Blue Jackets have already paid that $2 million signing bonus to Johnny Gaudreau, that counts against their salary cap. So instead of owing like just over $2 million, I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but it's like 1.1 million, 1 point something million now that they have to, handle. A lot easier to do than 2 million. So it'll give them a little more cushion. It's a lot easier to figure that out compared to having a little over 2 million. So it is a little easier in that regard. So they do have to get this done. They can't have this going on forever, but they do have some time. And because they paid that $2 million signing bonus, it's less of an issue now because now they have to worry about less money. It's not as big of an issue anymore. So Now it's
so
just
unfortunate it happened, but
it is unfortunate that it
Get a little
happened.
bit of grace from the NHL here.
Yeah, it
and
is
it's understandable. Like,
Yeah.
how are you going to cover suddenly? Who could have possibly predicted that? And you can't. I mean, it's so close to the season. There's no way you can. Yeah.
So, like,
That's-
now the next challenge for the Blue Jackets, now that they do have that grace period and they do have some time to figure out what's going on there and how to figure that out, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with that and how do they figure that out and what guy do they eventually get to fill that cap space so that when the time comes when they do have to be salary cap compliant, they'll be there and then they won't have to worry about being too high or too low, just perfect. So that's going to be interesting to see how that goes and what they do with that and when the time comes, what they're going to do to be salary cap compliant.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, there could be signings yet. There could be anything. It's a hard time of year for that because everyone's kind of trying to work with what they got to start the season. I mean, you had a whole off season to deal with it, and the Blue Jackets just got put in a tough situation altogether. I mean, it's just unfortunate.
The only thing I could say to that is maybe that could be a potential solution sooner rather than later to this issue is that this does happen every year. A guy or two gets cut from training camp, and then teams often take a look at that guy and say, "Ooh, that guy looks good. Maybe that's a guy that we could use." And then they take a flyer on him, and then they sign him to like a 1 year, 2 year deal or something. So that may be
maybe even a two-way contract. Yeah,
a 1 year deal, two-way contract, whatever. And that may be a potential solution to the issue that the Blue Jackets are currently facing. They may take a guy that may be cut from training camp and give him a spot. Maybe.
yeah.
Or it could be something different. We just don't know yet.
I mean, that's they pick up players from waivers here and there occasionally and whatnot. But what else you got for us?
So I do have some other stuff to share, which is first things first. We have oh boy. Okay, so we have Blue Jackets prospect William Whitelaw, who plays at Michigan, and I thought this is just kind of like a fun little interview that he had with a Michigan player, kind of like a welcome to the team moment, like get to know you sort of thing. So here it is, right here. Let's.
Oh, you took it off the screen, Kev.
Oh shoot!
Minnesota kid on the team. Sounds good.
There we go.
Where'd you play junior? Youngstown, Ohio. The Phantoms. Nice. Good city. Champion.
What's up?
Hi, I'm Keenan Draper. I'm a junior on the Michigan hockey team. I'm here with William Whitelaw, sophomore. Will, so I'm going to be asking you a couple questions here today.
You can turn it up a little bit.
First question: where are you from? I'm from Rosemont, Minnesota. All right, the Minnesota kid on the team. Sounds good. Where'd you play junior? Youngstown, Ohio. The Phantoms. Nice. Good city. Champions, by the way. Nice. Very cool. Very cool.
Oh, yeah.
I see you were number 8. How come you chose number 8?
Because I've wanted ever since band year.
Yeah.
I just stuck with me. I'm going under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for goals to the bench or what?
Try that.
All right, we'll see. So I see that you have red hair, like ginger, just like myself. Yep. What's your favorite part about being ginger?
Just because we're just different than everyone else. It's true. It's just great. It's just
Oh
great.
yeah, brother.
You can just look across the locker and see great. It's just really a ginger on the team.
No second. Now, if you're a fruit, what fruit would you be? Why?
Probably strawberry. Obviously, it's red and it tastes good, really
Nice.
good. So yeah,
It is really good.
everyone loves strawberries. So,
Yeah. Not her though.
No.
What are you most looking forward to about playing at Yost?
Playing with the boys and playing with other children, winning some games.
All right. That's all I got for today. Thanks. Go Blue.
Yeah, go Blue. Yeah.
That was awesome. I especially like the ginger comments because they were both ginger. That cracked me up. If you only ever listen to us by audio, if you've never like seen us or whatever, I have red hair. Just so you know.
Yeah. Context is important. Anyway, so that's the first thing that I have. I said this on the show last week, and I'm going to say it again. Blue Jackets, if you're ever watching this show, please listen to me. Hear me out. Please listen to me. Please sell these outstanding, these awesome light blue Blue Jackets practice jerseys. That's all I'm going to say. They are awesome. I love them. I would buy one. I would buy them. I would buy a light blue practice jersey like this one that Matthew Olivier has, and I would buy it. So Blue Jackets, hear me out here. Please sell a light blue Blue Jackets practice jersey.
You notice they have ads on those jerseys too? Just something to think about. Nothing. No big deal. Why? They're practice. Anyway, continue.
But sell them, Blue Jackets. They're pretty damn cool, just my opinion. Light blue practice jerseys, sell them. Anyways. Next is, so I thought this was cool. Erica Branson's kid had a soccer game. His wife posted that on her Instagram page, and a lot of the Blue Jackets players showed up and watched him play. So
you still have the Matthew Olivier sack. Oh, there we go. Sorry,
okay.
I forgot. There you go.
So again, Erica Branson's wife posted on her Instagram page. I thought this is just kind of cool that one of their kids had a soccer game, and like I want to say, like Caden Lindstrom, Adam Fantilli, and a bunch of other Blue Jackets players showed up to it, and they watched. I just thought that was cool. I'm like, I got to share this,
funny.
On the show. So here it is.
And I also saw earlier this week that a bunch of the Blue Jackets guys got together and to wish Noah Gaudreau, John Gaudreau's daughter.
He beat you.
Oh yeah. So back.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, so
it's really cool seeing them all like get being close together and bonding too. I mean, for this year especially, I think it's really important.
Okay, so according to this post, it says that Erica Branson was there, Cole Sillinger was there, Adam Fantilli was there, Gavin Brindley was there, Caden Lindstrom was there. And another thing in the same video, Adam Fantilli goes down the slide with one of Erica Branson's kids.
I love how she's like, he beat you. And it's like, dude, his feet were almost to the ground when he started. He's like 6'5". And this kid's like 3 feet tall.
So here it is. All right, here.
Oh, he beat you.
We'll show that again. Watch. Adam Fantilli going down the slide.
Oh, he beat you.
Oh, you said it was Adam Fantilli? For some reason, I thought you said Good Branson. Sorry.
No.
But still, Adam Fantilli is like a lot taller than that small child.
Adam Fantilli is with Erica Branson's kid.
Oh, okay. That's right.
He's with Erica Branson's kid, and he's going down the slide. So that's what that is. So one more time.
Oh, he beat you. you.
Hell yeah. You got anything else, man?
Yes.
And you can just get into your closing stuff then from there.
Perfect. So we're now officially under 5 months to go until the Blue Jackets outdoor game. I'm so excited. I'm hyped.
I can't wait for the jerseys. I
Oh my
need to
God.
know what they are.
Oh my God, it's going to be so fucking cool. I
Yeah.
love it.
I'm so excited.
Anyways, the Blue Jackets posted a new hype video to get you excited. When they made this post, it was 5 months ago, but now it's less than 5 months to go until the Blue Jackets outdoor game.
What the hype
I'm
is
going to play
building?
this video multiple times because it's so dang cool.
This will be March 1st. Is it the 1st? I thought it was the
Yeah.
7th. March 1st, 2025. It's a good month. Great month. It's when
Damn right. Damn right.
when both our birthdays are.
That's
Yep.
right. That's right. March 12th.
Hell yeah.
Damn great day. March 12th.
Oh yeah.
You know. Anyway, so I'm going to play it one more time.
All right. Yeah, dude. I mean, can't wait for the jerseys. I can't wait for the vibes. I can't wait for tailgating. We're gonna tailgate this, right? Like it's at a football stadium. Like why not?
That's right.
Because there's no tailgating in like a car park. Isn't there like a giant parking lot around this whole thing? Anyway, there better be some tailgating. I'd love it. And I'm still not sure if I'm gonna try to get tickets or go as media.
Yeah. But anyways, one last time. We'll do it after this.
Oh,
All right.
Rinketic, hey man, appreciate you joining us even for the last few minutes. Yeah. Hey, we'll try to remember to send you that link here next week. We'll get you on. Hopefully we can match up our time zones a little bit. We know you're quite a few hours off from us over in Sweden. And hey, if anyone else out there is watching from anywhere in the world, go leave us a comment on YouTube or Twitter. We do read most live, or we'll talk about them live while we're recording. Oh, and here you go.
So I said I'd do this and on the show, and I'm going to do it, is that, within the last month or so, it's been kind of, from a, player standpoint, it's been kind of tough for Ohio sports. The Blue Jackets lost Johnny Gaudreau, and now, unfortunately, the Reds have lost Pete Rose, who was just an absolutely iconic, historic legend, not just for the Reds, not just for baseball, but also for Ohio sports. What he did for the Reds was truly outstanding. He really did kind of help put the Reds on the map. He was part of those 2 World Series teams in the 70s from the Big Red Machine that won the World Series in 1975 and 1976. Such damn good teams that even to this day, almost 50 years later, people are still talking about the Big Red Machine and what the Reds did in the 70s. They're still talking about Pete Rose. They're still talking about Pete Rose and Joe Morgan and Johnny Bench and George Foster and Cesar Geronimo and just so many damn good players that was on that team. That's the kind of impact that that Pete Rose and the Reds had, not just for Cincinnati, but for Ohio sports. Like, I live in Illinois, but I grew up liking the Reds, and most of the people up by me like the Cubs. There's some White Sox fans, but the majority of the people up by me where I live in Illinois like the Cubs. And they were even, they may have jokingly given me shit for, oh, you like the Reds, why not the Cubs? But even then, when I wore my Red stuff, they were like, oh, Reds, cool. Like, Pete Rose, Johnny Bench, Big Red Machine, the World Series in the 70s, or some of them said, oh, I remember when they won the World Series in the 90s, and, stuff like that. So it's just so sad and so unfortunate that not only did the Blue Jackets lose Johnny Gaudreau, but now the Reds have lost Pete Rose, an iconic legend, not just for baseball, but for what he's mostly known for, the Reds. Just an iconic legend. He's the hit king. So many good things in baseball. I obviously wasn't around for when he played, but I talked to my dad who was around when he was playing, and he said that he was one of the most fun players he ever watched. I was talking to my grandma on the phone yesterday, and she said that Pete Rose is what, she likes the Cubs too, but like, even as a Cubs fan, she said that she loved watching Pete Rose play, one of her favorite players to watch, even though she liked the Cubs, like 99% of the people in my family do. So, Pete Rose, you should be in the Hall of Fame. It's just an absolute travesty that you're not in. It's absolutely terrible that you're not in. You should be in. You should have gotten in. But I have the suspicion that they're gonna do what they've done to many players, which is they wait until they die, unfortunately, and then they put them in. And it's good that they got in, but it just doesn't feel the same, because instead of them accepting it, it's their family. It's like that person's wife or that person's brother or kid or cousin or something accepting that, when it should be those guys. So I know there's gambling issues and a bunch of other stuff, but honestly, that's not big of an issue anymore, considering the fact that there's gambling ads everywhere with every sport. So it's really not that big of an issue anymore. So just my opinion here, and it's shared by others as well. Put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. He's already in the Reds Hall of Fame, but he needs to be in the Hall of Fame because he is one of the best players in baseball history, and he's an iconic Reds legend that not only did so much for, the Reds and the city of Cincinnati, but he did so much just for Ohio sports, because he just brought so much positivity to Cincinnati and the state of Ohio. And I'm wearing my red stuff today for you, Pete Rose. So rest in peace, and you were a damn good player. So rest in peace, and you're going to be missed by many people. And it's rather unfortunate that two of my favorite teams, the Blue Jackets and the Reds, have had to lose some of their iconic players, but that's just how it is sometimes. So rest in peace, Pete Rose, and you were just a damn good player, damn good player. So there's that. Now I will move on to my other stuff that I'm going to share, then we'll get out of here, which is this. It's speaking of Johnny Gaudreau, where, oh, why didn't it, dang. Okay. So, Union Blue Soldiers, every year, my Blue Jackets fan group that I run every year, we have a march to cheer on the Blue Jackets, and it's a lot of fun. And we're still going to have that fun on Tuesday, October 15th, 2024. But it's going to be a little extra special. That being that we're going to honor Johnny Gaudreau with these awesome new banners, thanks to Zoran, who's, a friend of Union Blue Soldiers, a Union Blue Soldiers member, and he wanted to do something like this for Johnny Gaudreau. So he's going to bring these awesome Johnny Gaudreau banners to honor Johnny Gaudreau at the next Union Blue Soldiers March on October 15th, 2024. So it's going to be great, and I'm looking forward to it. So we're going to have that. And also, we are also going to be where is it? Right here. So, besides Johnny Gaudreau, I'm also going to be honoring my Uncle Doc at the next Union Blue Soldiers March. I gave a little tribute to him last week on the show, and I'm going to keep doing it. I'm not going to talk very long about him, but basically, my Uncle Doc was someone who was very special and important to many people in our family and friends, including me. Very important to me. He was my hockey guy, and I always loved talking hockey with him. And you know, he took me down to Schaumburg, Illinois, to a hockey store, and we got hockey stuff, and he'd help me out with all my street hockey tournaments and so much more. And I always loved talking hockey with him. He liked the Blackhawks, but he also became a Blue Jackets fan because of me. And we, not that long ago, before he unfortunately died, we were talking about how we think both the Blackhawks and the Blue Jackets are going to do this season. And as you can see in this picture, he's wearing one of our scarves. He had his own Union Blue Soldiers scarf. He was a big supporter of Union Blue Soldiers. And, I have no doubt if given the chance, he would have loved going down to Columbus to see the Blue Jackets play. And he would have loved the marches that Union Blue Soldiers does. And that's something that I wanted to do. But unfortunately, I never got that chance to take him down to Columbus to see the Blue Jackets play and experience a Union Blue Soldiers march. So I'm going to do the next best thing. So besides honoring Johnny Gaudreau, I'm going to honor my Uncle Doc at the Union Blue Soldiers March on October 15th. So thank you for everything, Doc. I wish you could have been here with me to see the Blue Jackets play and experience a Union Blue Soldiers March. And I wish you were still here that I could still, talk hockey with you. So gonna honor Johnny Gaudreau with those awesome banners, and we're gonna honor my Uncle Doc at the Union Blue Soldiers March. One last thing for me, I'm gonna show the video from one of the marches that we've done, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Let's go, So, join Union Blue Soldiers for the Union Blue Soldiers March on Tuesday, October 15th, 2024, our bar, 6 o'clock p.m. Join your fellow Blue Jackets fans as we march on to Nationwide Arena to cheer on your beloved team in Union Blue, the Columbus Blue Jackets. CBJ! 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 Let's go, Jackets! Let's go, Jackets! Let's go, Jackets! All right. Join the Union Blue Soldiers March on Tuesday, October 15th, 2024. Our bar, 6 o'clock p.m. Join us as we march on to Nationwide Arena to cheer on the Blue Jackets. All right. I'm done talking. I'm out.
Just a little sample of what you're going to hear on the 15th. Yes, this has been another episode of the Blue Jackets. We appreciate you where you're watching from. If you followed the YouTube link from Facebook, we appreciate that. If you're watching from Twitter or YouTube, we also appreciate that. Hey, if you're out there, so we made a new Facebook page this week. We did not have full control of our previous page, and it was apparently a mystery to who had it. So I was just tired of the bullshit. So made our new Facebook page. So if you would find us, we are the Brew Jackets Podcast on Facebook. And if you would give us a follow there, we'd greatly appreciate that. We're trying to grow that page and get it back to at least the likes we had before, or follows, or whatever that works. So, yo, Young Beezer says, yo, hi, you're late by a lot. And yeah, that's it for this week. And we'll be here same time, same place next week, Wednesday the 9th, night before opening night. So I already showed that one.
Okay.
No worries. All right. Hey, thanks everyone for being here again. We will see you all soon. Bye.